Hey friends, it's Akidiris. So today's video has been a long-awaited project of mine that I've been waiting to share with you all, and that is for the past 3 months I have been attending school in Japan at Yokohama Design College to study Japanese every day, 3 hours a day. Yep. I'm serious. From Monday to Friday, from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. I've been going every day studying, and not only that, I wanted to immerse myself in the full school experience, so I actually was part of a lot of extracurricular activities, which I'll get later to in the video, and I basically gave no time for anything else except school and YouTube. It has been really hard, but I've honestly enjoyed every moment of it, and being back in school has put me in such a good space mentally. Actually, in my last video, I shared all the things that I did in 2021, but the only thing I kept out was me going to school because that would have spoiled the surprise. So I'm gonna take you guys on a tour of what it was like attending school in Japan. Okay, so first off, the extent of my Japanese before school was all carried from high school. I already knew basic sentence structure, Hiragana and Katakana fluently, and everything else after that was more so street taught. My level was only enough to get my point across, and my comprehension was extremely slow. I wasn't completely hopeless, but I really want to live in Japan for a long time, so it seemed silly to not even try to learn the language more. Also, I was just getting more and more frustrated not being able to do certain things because of that language barrier. Sometimes when I was out and I would get hungry, I would want to go to a restaurant, but I'd be too scared for the waitress to possibly say something that I don't understand, so I would just kind of go home and eat there instead. So little things like that kind of pile up over time, and eventually you just kind of get fed up with isolating yourself and trying to make everything around you in English. And in my case, for the longest time, I just didn't think I'd ever be able to balance school with YouTube. But as they say, you never know until you try. So I thought to enroll in school. Okay, so it's October 2021, and it is the 6th. Today I'm about to take my placement test. So this placement test will kind of give them an idea of where my Japanese level is at. And so today's going to be the test. Tomorrow I'm going to get emailed my results, and then on Monday will be my first day of school. Was the hardest test ever. Before I officially attended the school, I had to travel all the way to Yokohama Design College to take a placement test, and it was completely in Japanese, and it was pretty difficult considering I didn't know any kanji. It was okay though, because this test is just their way of trying to figure out where to place you. So I was finally placed at a basic level, which I was kind of hoping for higher, but you'll be surprised how much you learn at the first level. Oh, one thing to keep in mind is that there is no English whatsoever. It is completely in Japanese. So if you were to ask a question to the teacher in English, they will most likely just respond back in Japanese. So it really drills it into you to force you to learn the language. I think that's great, considering I think that one of the best ways to learn a language is literally speak to someone who cannot speak your language, in my case English. Because if you speak to someone who can speak the same language as you, it doesn't really matter from my experience if they're bilingual. Most of the time you guys will switch to your native tongue. But I had teachers that couldn't speak any English, so I did everything I could to get words out even if my Japanese wasn't perfect. And luckily, most of the time they understood what I was trying to say. Now the first thing you guys learn is Hiragana and Katakana, but this is done in the span of a few days to a week. Then right after that, you go right into kanji. Every week the sentence structures kept expanding even more, and I could feel myself being able to express my thoughts more. And I loved my teachers. I know this sounds really weird to say, but some of these teachers might have honestly been some of the best teachers that I've ever had, because I was super comfortable talking to them, and I think being confident is one of the biggest things that can help you learn any language. And each teacher just made me feel so welcomed, and they were so patient waiting for me to get my words out, even if it wasn't perfect. The way I talk sometimes is like a baby. So for the longest time, I didn't know how to say the sun in Japanese. And I remember saying, sora, maru, kiro, pika pika, I don't know, what is it in Japanese? Tayo. And as silly as it may have sounded being embarrassed like that, it's good because now I know the word for sun, and I'm never gonna explain it like a 5-year-old again. You would think, right, that I would feel a little bit embarrassed being 28 sounding like I'm 5. Honestly, it came at a point that I didn't care anymore that I didn't speak perfectly, because getting over that fear and accepting the fact that you will mess up is the only way that you're going to improve. Anyways, so that's kind of like the general way that I had been talking to the teachers and the students. Every day you're learning a certain sentence, and then you using that sentence in like a million different ways until you remember it. And every morning we have a test that is broken up into 3 parts. The first part was called Dictation, which is when the teacher says something and you write it down in Hiragana. The second part is the teacher saying something and then you write it down in Katakana. And the third part was writing a sentence both in Hiragana and Katakana. More kudos if you could put kanji into it. And then there would be chapter exams where it would combine everything you learned in a chapter. And I actually think I did pretty well on most of them, and I could feel myself learning really fast. Another thing I wanted to talk about, kami! Paper! Oh my god, prepare yourself because there's gonna be a lot of it. So this is 3 months worth of Japanese homework and schoolwork. A lot of it is like kanji, sentence structures, test reviews. I actually have a lot of different things that I use to study Japanese, but that will have to be saved for a whole nother video in the future. A lot of people have this thing that I call a perfection complex, where their thought is, if I can't say this perfectly, then I'm not going to say it at all. But if you keep thinking like that, then you'll never talk. Now, outside of class, our school had a lot of different events that you could join, and one of the coolest things I did was being able to regularly visit different Japanese high schools and converse with the students in Japanese. This was a way for them to interact with international students and also for us to practice the language. And there were other times we visited a Japanese school to help the students practice English, and I really can't express how much I love trying to teach someone else to speak confidently to me. I don't have any videos from those events, but this was one of my most favorite things to do. And in case you're wondering, no, I never told them that I was a YouTuber. If someone asked me what my job was, I just say that I work from home. Overall, I wanted to kind of keep the whole YouTube thing away from school as much as possible and just enjoy being a student. But overall, it was just a really great experience, and I loved every moment I had just to converse with my teachers and make friends. Speaking of Japanese school life, I also participated in the classic cleaning of the school. This is a tradition in Japanese schools where all the staff and all the students get together to clean the school and their surrounding area. I also took up volleyball in my school, which I immediately fell in love with. My teacher showed me the ropes, and I wasn't really that good at first, but even though I felt like I got hit by a truck the next day, I was so eager to do it again. Every time my school held a volleyball event, I was always there to take it. I also celebrated what's called Bonenkai, which has taken place near the end of the year, where all the classes got together and we all had to do a performance of some sort. So I helped my class make a song for a performance, and little did I know that it was a contest. And it turned out that we won 2nd place. And this is the certificate that we got for winning 2nd place. So what is my Japanese level at right now? Well, of course, I'm not fluent, but I can say confidently that I've had no issue understanding my teachers, and they haven't really had much trouble understanding me either. Okay, so I think to make my point across, I will switch to Japanese and try to say the extent of what I hope I can say. So here we go. Okay. 恥ずかしい. Oh my god. I'll just do it. Alright. はじめまして。私はアキです。アメリカから来ました。2019年に日本に行きました。私はもっと日本語を学校するために横浜デザイン学院に入学しました。今、私の日本語は完璧ではありませんが、嬉しいです。初めてみんなとやっと話すことが話すことができたから。Okay. 終わりました。I subtitled this because I know my teachers are watching, so hopefully they had an okay time of what I had to say. But yeah, Yokohama Design College, I loved every moment of it. It was great, and I'd do it all over again. If you guys want to go to language school, I personally had a really great time. I made a lot of really great friends, put myself in a really great state of mind, and I learned so much. But you know, Yokohama Design College was awesome. I think everyone treated me well, and so if you guys ever want a recommendation, that was my experience. I'll put a link in the description if you guys want to go check out the school and everything like that. But I will hopefully make more videos about school in the future because there is literally so much that I still have to share. So I appreciate you guys for watching, and subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!